It's just floating there, in its, well, I suppose we can't call it a T-pose. This is the Ruin Serpent when viewed from out of bounds. Perhaps you're wondering, but hold on a moment. Isn't the Ruin Serpent constantly circling the arena? And you would be correct. Additionally, this is not a loading issue. There is no loading trigger that moves the Ruin Serpent up and makes it start circling the arena. So, how then is this possible? There are 2 Ruin Serpents. Well, 1.5? A fourth. Definitely 1 1/4. The Ruin Serpent that one fights is buried, stationary beneath the ground prior to the battle beginning. This 1/4 of a Ruin Serpent up top going in circles, as we can see, is a simple model that looks awfully unfinished, which, given we're not supposed to be seeing it from this angle, makes sense. What's really interesting about this simple model is that it loads in as part of the landmass. If you've been out of bounds in these mines, or you've watched my video on the topic, you'll have seen just how large an open space the mines are, and how each section of the map has its own dedicated landmass. Much like many other games, details of these landmasses load and unload in relation to player proximity, which sometimes includes entire sections of them appearing or disappearing. As we can see here while falling, despite being nearly at the lowest point of these mines, the Ruin Serpent is still circling up there because the landmass model remains loaded in. We don't see this too often in Genshin. The only example I can think of off the top of my head would be the windmills in Mondstadt. Once the battle begins, the Ruin Serpent goes vertical and breaks out of the ground. If we mess with the big fella a bit, we can watch as it continuously goes up, and then burrows back down to resume its M- pose. One more time. I feel like we're picking on the poor fella. We definitely are. Look at the guy flailing around, fighting and nothing. Back below the ground, we can glimpse these heretofore unseen animations in their highly polished, pristine glory. What in the world is it even doing? The animations of it below ground are unsurprisingly jarring, with the Ruin Serpent vanishing and reappearing between attacks. While its attack collision does reach a bit below the ground, it's unlikely to ever hit us unless we purposely go close to the surface. The attack where it shoots those orbs of energy is the only real threat, or the times where it happens to burrow close by. We can hurt it from down here. In fact, we can hurt it while it's below the map. This of course begs the question, what happens if we defeat it while it's below the ground? Originally, I wanted to one-shot the Ruin Serpent before the fight even began. I don't think that's possible, however, given there is a heavy damage reduction when it's attacked before the fight begins. This is similar to the Primo Geovishap, which takes reduced damage throughout its opening battle cry. So I settled for the next best thing, and the fight began. Slowly but surely, its health was whittled away. Attacking it from down here felt inconsistent, and many times I shot the floor instead of the Ruin Serpent. The drill tail doesn't have a hitbox, and instead the large cog must be aimed for. After managing to get its health down to a magic pixel, I waited out the attack pattern until it used the energy orb attack. The moment it took that U shape, I let fly the final arrow, and it immediately rocketed to the surface and disintegrated. A bit anticlimactic, really. Was hoping to see it fall into the abyss. On that note, I ran the test again. Perhaps things would turn out differently if I KO'd the Ruin Serpent while it was burrowing, as in the animation it does before it vanishes and reappears elsewhere. Unfortunately, same result. Boss skyrockets to the surface and collapses, instead of disintegrating as it falls into the void. When I say skyrocket, I do mean that literally. Just how fast did the boss jump to the surface? If we slow down the footage and count the first frame as the moment its health bar vanishes, 1 frame, 2, 3, 4. 4 frames. Absurd. Anyways, did you enjoy this look at the Ruin Serpent? If so, I've got a whole video dedicated to battling the other bosses while out of bounds, and even one where we drag Child out of the arena of the Golden House and drop him off the map. Also, if you've yet to see the Chasm Underground Mines Out of Bounds Expedition video, which includes how to get outside the map, do check it out. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. This is Musashi. signing off. Till next time.